Alright guys, we are back. We have game 3 between Kyle Wiegel and Daniel Mohorski. Kyle's on Grixis control featuring Demonic Pact. Daniel's on Suicide Blue. Both of these players are away from their typical archetypes that they normally play. Kyle's usually on the amulet-less.
The bloomless Amulet Bloom deck relying on a little snake that lets you put extra lands into play.
And Daniel's usually on a spicy version of Kiki Cord.
So both of them wanted a little something different. Kyle missed the power boost that was in Amulet Bloom and has been slowly gathering the cards necessary to play Grixis Control.
Although he's had a huge streak of success with the Bluebless Titan deck here. Like he's 4-0'd or X1'd like every FNM he's played with.
There's not a lot of land hate currently in this format if you're not playing main deck Blood Moons for some reason.
Like, Obzon and Jund are way down on their Fulminator Mage count.
I play 0 right now.
I think the junk list I have sleeved up has, I think it has 0 Fulminator Mages in it.
It's a good, the meta ends up being, as a result of this, really good for decks like Tron and some of the other land aggressive decks like Scape Shift. And
local player Mark Rochella has had a lot of success with Tron recently here. Like,
we might be able to get him on a match later this afternoon.
Yeah,
Kyle
we
brings
both
back...
are huge fans of Tron. Kidding. No biases here.
Well,
we just like Magic.
I don't know if Kyle likes Tron, but right now he's bringing back a standard special, Jace Friend's Prodigy. This card spiked all the way up to nearly $100 during its time in Standard and really hadn't found a home until Brewers have been moving along. Right now, Kyle is trying to find a home for his once favorite blue creature Planeswalker.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen Jace Friend's Prodigy before, it had a huge modern surge a couple months after it was printed, and now it's kind of fallen off again.
Michael Major spent some time trying to find a Jund-style grind-em-out list involving Jace Friend's Prodigy, Thought Scour, Dreadbore, and other cards you'd associate with Grixis Control.
Right.
And while taking advantage of just the board presence and stall that can be generated by Friend's Prodigy flipping into Jace Telepath Unbound.
Right.
So Daniel here is having a nice aggressive draw. He went Serum Visions into finding 2 Swift Spears and just swinging by Kyle as Kyle tries to decide what to fetch with this fetch land.
Yeah, we're seeing Kyle, I believe this is actually his first night with the deck, so he may be taking a couple extra seconds on his decisions as I think this is his first match with it.
Yeah, and any kind of control or mid-range strategy can be very difficult. One is your first time playing it. Your mana fixing and your fetching decisions greatly impact your ability to cast your spells as the game progresses, and double spell as you move on to turns 3, 4, and 5.
These mid-range control decks are all about decision trees. Like, it's not sequencing is important, not in the same way it's important in terms of like Merfolk. It's like, this turn do I Inquisition or do I Lightning Bolt? Like it's.
Do you play the land tap to gain a few life while waiting for a better opportunity to cast your spells and stuff? Kyle is casting a card, Collective Brutality. Collective Brutality is a 1-in-black sorcery spell with Escalate, a new keyword, that for each card discarded, it allows you to choose an additional mode. Its modes are target opponent reveal his or her hand. You may choose a instant or sorcery card and have them discarded. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn, and target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life.
Legacy Reanimator All-Star.
Actually, yeah. So both the blue-black Legacy Reanimator lists are playing this as both a discard outlet and a way to kill Scavenging Ooze and Deathrite Shaman in the early game, while also clearing the way for Force Will spells. But we're not in Modern, or we're not in Legacy right now.
Tomorrow we are.
We're just killing some creatures so that Kyle can double spell and kill both of Daniel's Swift Spears. End of turn, Kyle's going to activate Jace. Probably going to discard this. Oh, he's got interesting choices. Okay, he's going to discard
Kolaghan's Command.
And flipping the Jace.
So we have Jace Telepath Unbound now.
Jace Telepath Unbound enters the battlefield with 5 loyalty, ticks up to target creature. That target creature gets -2/-0 until your next turn, which is important, so it affects that player's
their
next
attack
combat.
step. Yep.
-3 is classic flashback, except it's not flashback. It actually says you may cast it, which allows you to use any kicker style abilities from the graveyard.
Right. An important distinction.
Yep. And -9 just says whenever someone casts a spell, target player mills a few cards.
Which I've seen people lose too many times.
Yeah, it's a little slow for Modern, generally speaking.
I've seen it in Legacy several times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
I've seen it kill Miracles at least twice.
That's awesome. All right, so what did we cast? Did we cast an Inquisition or something? Daniel has laid down his...
Serum Visions is on top of the Colgan's command. We're in Kyle's turn right now, aren't we?
Yeah, I feel like as though we've missed... Oh, it was look at his opponent's hand with the
collective brutality. Yeah.
Daniel was reminding Kyle politely of what cards he had already seen.
You see a lot of that here for Horseman Comics and Gaming. A lot of, I'll play heads up, or, oh, you forgot, here are the cards that you should know. And
it's F&M.
Yeah, it's F&M, and we also have players who collectively want to learn to play better, so they help each other.
So it's one of those things where it's kind of interesting. You can choose to, like, derived information or known information, you can choose to save time and play with the cards revealed, or casually show your opponent those cards, or you can try and kind of game a little bit and say, hey, you don't remember what these cards are, I'm not going to worry about it.
That's an advantage I have over you right now.
But if Kyle were to write them down, it actually it's in Daniel's best interest to be like, hey, it's these, don't worry about it, stop looking at what you're writing down.
Because they are playing against the clock. They have a little less than, they have about 2.5 minutes left. And also just like the tournament as a whole, like having the Twitch stream in the feature match does slow the tournament down a little bit. They are being considerate of the rest of the players by playing as quickly as they can.
So Daniel's game plan right here with Suicide Blue is generally to create these creatures with prowess or prowess-like effects. Even though Thing in the Ice doesn't have prowess,
right,
casting spells allows you to remove those ice counters to create a large aggressive swing.
All of his creatures synergize with instants and sorceries, even if they don't necessarily have prowess. You talk.
Okay. So right now we have Daniel on just making another draw. He's looking for some instances and sorceries so he can thaw out those Thing in the Ice and make a big swing. Right here, casting Sleight of Hand. Kyle has access to a Cryptic command or two, so he has a chance to be able to fight these thawed out Thing in the Ices by tapping them down for a turn or two. One problem is it appears that Kyle doesn't have access to the triple blue necessary for those Cryptic commands. It might have been why he was looking to cast back those Serum Visions.
Grixis has always been the greediest archetype. If you're casting Grixis or Cryptic Command or Cruel Ultimatum or Nicol Bolas.
Or Nicol Bolas. I don't think I've seen Nicol Bolas cast in Modern outside of like the Tron, Oath of Nissa.
I was going to say you could splash green in your Grixis deck to play Oath of Nissa, then you get to play...
Here's a better one. Why don't you splash green in your Tron deck?
To play all the...
Oath of Nissa and then just slam out.
I've seen a couple people do that. It's real spicy. I like it.
Yeah, so Kyle's going to be sitting on Snapcaster Access to Terminate. He is going to choose to +1 Jace on one of the Things in the Ice. So this means when the thing swings, presumably in the next two turns, if it flips, it'll still be only swinging for 5, not 7.
Right. Is that
Kyle's sitting at a precious 13.
2 Cryptic commands in his hand?
He has 2 Cryptic commands, but again, something to point out, he doesn't have access to triple blue, which is important.
Right, of course. So it looks we are at time. Mr. Wiegel is turn 0. And Daniel will be turn 1. And Kyle has Cryptic Snapcaster. Daniel has Tamir Battle Rage. I'm not getting a good look.
Yeah, neither am I.
If he flips them, it looks like
he flips them and has like a pump spell.
Yeah, he looks like he can win here. And he has turns 1, 3, and 5, so he has 3 attack steps.
Yep. That's very important. Daniel's going to lead off on a mutagenic growth, paying 2 life, taking a counter off both things in the ice.
So he's going to go from 18 down to 16.
Now, it's important. Kyle actually does have access to a Snapcaster Terminate.
Right.
So with a flip trigger on the stack and the bounce effect, he can actually get a little extra value out of a Snapcaster Mage.
Oh yeah, so you cast it with the trigger on the stack, terminate 1. Well, you don't necessarily have to terminate there.
1,
and then when the flip trigger goes off, you get the Snapcaster Mage back in your hand.
Yeah,
but that only leaves him with 1 mana.
Yeah, but maybe the next turn you can untap, go snap, terminate again.
And it's also like a good trick to know for future games.
Yep. It's kind of fun to find those extra lines. So we have Temur Battle Rage, which gives this creature double strike and with a ferocious trigger of trample.
Does that target? Yeah, that target. So we're the one that has the Battle Rage. We assume will be the one that gets terminated.
Mm-hmm. The one that is not targeted by Jace Telepath Unbound for the -2 effect.
So the flip side, Awakened Horror is a 7/8.
Mm-hmm.
So even like if he terminates 1, well,
he can snap block terminate.
Snap block terminate.
He still has access to Jace. Jace's takedown ability is basically his pseudo Snapcaster and sorcery speed.
So he can answer both of these.
Unless, like, Daniel's most powerful card left in hand would be his second Apostle's Blessing.
Oh yeah, that would be really strong. All right, so Snapcaster Mage, his ability targets terminate. Terminate does destroy one of the creatures.
The one presumed targeted
with the Battle Rage. Right.
Okay, so I think Daniel's kind of... Yep, he's going to chump block the 7/6 Awoken Horror with the Snapcaster Mage. And then Daniel's counting a bunch of cards in his graveyard. So it looks as though Kyle might have access to tick down Jace, target the Kolaghan's command to get maybe the Snapcaster Mage back. Oh, sweet. Daniel just played out a Bedlam Reveler, which says discard your hand and draw 3 cards. So, and its CMC is reduced by 1 for each additional instant sorcery in the graveyard. So Daniel just was able to refuel and hopefully be able to set up for another really powerful turn on his next 1 2 attacks.
That's tech. I love that card.
Yeah, it's borderline legacy playable. Like
I've seen it like consistently in Blue Red Delver list. Yeah. I think it's good.
I think it's a good card.
It takes a lot for a card to make me want to play a blue red deck, but that's one of them.
It takes a lot to make you want to play a red deck that doesn't involve Kiki or Lightning Bolt.
Yes. That card is sweet.
All right, so Kyle Wiggle's draw here for the turn was another Kolaghan's Command. That is neither a blue source of mana or something that can kill either Bedlam Reveler.
But as you said, he can flash back a kill spell with the. Well, does he have another kill spell?
He's another Kolaghan's Command.
Okay. Does he have something that can kill a 4 or greater toughness creature?
I think Kyle might be trying to bluff not dying.
Okay.
With the hope that Daniel doesn't have enough pump spells to prowess trigger the Bedlam Reveler up to lethal at 13.
The Jace gives -2/-0, correct? Okay.
Yep.
So he couldn't combo that with the Kolaghan's Command.
Yeah, if Jace was able to, say, disfigure every turn,
right?
I think he might have been a little bit more broken than he was in the standard already.
So that dice they are using is to indicate which creature has the Jace -2/-0 ability on it.
Okay. And the other one is just his the turn.
Yeah. Daniel is currently on turn 3. So Young Pyromancer into Taxium Probe triggers prowess and the elemental token ability on Young Pyromancer.
I think Kyle's just
Red
trying
Cabana
to
Boy.
bluff a little bit here. Either that or trying to decide if he's going to Kolaghan's Command the
in
Young
response.
Pyromancer.
Yeah, so he can shock the Young Pyromancer and make Daniel discard a card. No, he's going to get back Snapcaster Mage.
Well, at least now he has a blocker.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he can cast it for no value, but he can block.
Right. I think Kyle's ultimate plan here is to try and not die for the next 2 combat steps.
Right.
So.
Fair.
Did you draw your card off the probe?
He may not. He may not have.
Ultimately, it doesn't matter because he would have discarded that card to the Bedlam Reveler here.
But it would have been one of one of the cards he drew should be in the graveyard, and then the card on top of his deck should be in his hand. Okay.
Ultimately, it's still random.
That is true. All right.
So we've got a couple prowess triggers on the Bedlam Reveler and a giant Awoken Horror.
And
so it's 2 prowess triggers off the Serum Visions and the Gataxian Probe.
I believe those pieces
so
of paper are counting the
Daniel's
prowess triggers.
choosing to
Okay.
indicate the prowess triggers. Serum Visions, what you going to draw? We're going to draw a land. You've already played your land for turn, so that's not too exciting. We're going to send both those lands
2 lands to the bottom. That's a lot of lands.
I mean, on your scry too, when you're looking for business, it's not bad.
All right, Serum Visions.
Another one deep,
so
another
that's
piece of paper.
3 prowess triggers. Okay.
I think he's just kind of shrugging, trying to, couldn't think of anything immediately to do at that moment in time.
Draws.
Is that a Spell Pierce?
Maybe he sees Spellskite.
No,
and,
put
yeah,
Spellskite to the bottom. We're drawing Gataxian Probe.
Burn spells, mutagenic growths, Jix probes. That's what we want.
Yep. Battle.
Go in. What, the red sleeve, is that a young pyromancer?
No, the red sleeve is just where he was storing the...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's where he's taking it out after it's flipped.
The die next to it
is a young pyromancer.
Alright, I'm going to put some tokens down there for next round. Even if they're Pokemon cards. Yep, those are wonderful.
Yep. So let's see here. This is a swing for... So -2 and then 3 prowess triggers. So 4 on the Bedlam Reveler and 7 from the Awoken Horror. So you've got a swing for 11. Is he just electing to kill the... Oh, okay.
So Snapcaster blocks the Awaken Horror.
Mm-hmm.
And then off from the Bedlam Revelers...
Did you just send that at Jace? Do you think you just send that at Jace to try and clear off the board a little bit?
Yeah, because if he drew something like Terminate, he gets to kill 2 creatures.
Both creatures die.
Yeah. And it sounds
blue
weird.
Blue source. Tasker's not a blue source.
It's a blocker. It sounds weird to attack planeswalkers when you're at turns and you have them this close to dead, but I think that would have been technically correct.
Yeah, just for the 1 turn.
Yeah, it's debatable, but
yeah, there's a lot of outs that Kyle has access to here. He's going to exile the Spell Snare, which is essentially useless in the graveyard.
Pretty much, it doesn't really matter because he doesn't have the mana to activate and cast something.
Sure. It looks like one of Daniel's best draws here may just be a Team or Battle Rage. Life but we'll get those dice moved for you guys on the next round, so they're up there located at the top of the screen. So Jace is going to target the Bedlam Reveler here, the one with the die indicated directly above it. Let's see if Daniel can generate basically enough storm.
I think he drew a flooded strand there.
Yeah.
So Manamorphose. Yeah, that's a great.
It's a redraw.
Yeah.
2 triggers.
It's a 2 prowess triggers and a draw. That's fine. Not to mention mana.
No. Yep.
Is that a Manamorphose?
I think. Yeah, we just cycled the 1 Manamorphose.
No, it was a Kiln Fiend. It looked like the other. It looked like the Modern Masters Art Manamorphose, but it was a Kiln Fiend.
Yeah. So that's not too exciting here. It would have been kind of cool if you just kept drawing into cantrips and then maybe use the Spell Pierce to target his own cantrips to generate Electro Prowess and Storm to get around.
Right.
So we're going to swing everything here. It's the last turn. Why not?
Yep. That's what we do. And he doesn't have anything instant speed in hand to cast, does he?
We're going to block the big one.
Yep.
And depending on what Kyle's life total... Oh, we're just
activate it for
a slot
island
I don't know.
And land?
Yep. What you going to give back? It's turn to 5, guys.
You got to give him something. Yeah, you have to. It's what the ability says.
Daniel's just like casually, you can have whatever you want, man.
You get to pick. All right. I think we have Daniel 2-1 over Kyle Wiegel, Suicide Blue over Grixis Control featuring the Demonic Pact.
Okay.
All right, we will be right back, guys. Thank you for joining us. Once again, I am Ryan O'Loughlin. This is Brian Huffman, and we are broadcasting out of Four Horsemen Comics and Gaming in Morgantown, West Virginia. We will be right back for round number 2.